words and insights about our first award recipient tonight, the winners of our Freedom Fighter Trailblazer Award. Please welcome TKAAM Award member and Professor Emeritus at Fern University, Dr. Gretchen Gieson.
While you're waiting to get your food, my name is Gretchen. Sorry, that's an tonight we're honoring Fern. Tonight we're honoring Fern Van Gieson for her work in founding Wichita's chapter of the Urban League. The Urban League was founded in 1910 and focused on aiding migrants new to the big cities of America from the Jim Crow South. But the Urban League didn't make it to Wichita until 1954, and it wouldn't have made it here probably at all if it weren't for Floyd Watson and Fern Van Gieson. You're going to hear more about Floyd Watson from Fern, so I won't go into his role. I asked Fern what made injustice matter to her. What drove her to get involved? She said that her involvement working for civil rights began when she started noticing things. She began to notice that African Americans and European Americans at East High stayed separate, didn't socialize. When she did a fun task for the Junior Red Cross, working with kids at the Phyllis Wheatley Children's Home, she noticed that there were separate homes for black and white kids, which seemed odd to her and made her begin to question. When she got to college, she noticed that Oklahoma State University had no African American students. Riding the bus back to Wichita from college took her through Langston, Oklahoma. Interestingly enough, she could see lots of African American college students in Langston on that college campus. Then she went to one of the first interracial meetings in Oklahoma, a meeting of the Student Christian Association, one of the first interracial meetings ever held in Oklahoma. And she found what she was looking for: people of different races working together. In 1952, she returned to Wichita, to her home. She had been working for 2 years after graduating from college in Gary, Indiana, as a program director for the YWCA. The YWCA here was a natural place for her to look for friends, bright young adults like her. One of their committees was already challenging segregation by sending teams of black and white women to restaurants to record how each race was treated by each restaurant, and then to meet with the management and to state their request that discrimination end or they would no longer do business with that restaurant. The YW's Public Affairs discussion group examined social justice issues like segregation and racial discrimination. There, Fern met the couple who became her closest friends, Floyd and Tarzona Watson. She will tell you about them in a minute. That friendship transformed her life. She and Floyd worked together to establish the Wichita Urban League to recruit black and white business owners to put up funding, to seek support from the community chest, which is today called United Way, which was no easy task, to identify a biracial board that would lead the new organization, which could not be people who were perceived as controversial or as activists. And Fern and Floyd were both activists, probably controversial activists. Imagine that challenge. So there's a message for all of us in this chapter of what I'm going to show this abbreviated bit of Fern's life. First of all, notice. Pay attention. Secondly, commit yourself to righting wrongs. And thirdly, make friends of other races so that working together you can change your world and your community. In 1954, after 2 years of work, they received the charter for the new organization. And the Urban League went on to become along with the NAACP and other organizations in town like the Y, one of the leading organizations in Wichita's civil rights struggle. I asked Fern what she felt proudest about in terms of her contribution to the civil rights movement. Her response was, I don't think about that. What I do think about is that there is so much yet to be done. There is so much yet to be done. I meant to wear my I voted sticker tonight, and I left it home. It fell off. It lost its adhesiveness. I hope all of you will be wearing your I have voted stickers. And I would hope you all would welcome with me Fern and Gieson, our 2014 Freedom Fighter Trailblazer winner. Is this about right? I appreciate very much this honor. It is difficult to think of 60 years ago. It seems both a long time ago and in other ways very close. I want to introduce you to two additional people who are here with us, and they are two of Floyd's and Tarzona's daughters. Lacey Watson here, and Albert Gieson, and Tony Watson from Atlanta. And I want to share this tribute and tell you a little more about Floyd Watson. Floyd was a person who read widely, who thought deeply, and who was the one, we say co-founders, but he was the one who was the spark to getting the Wichita Urban League started here. He was already had done the research and the checking and the contact with the Kansas City Urban League, which was the closest one. He knew the differences between what various organizations did and what Wichita lacked here, which was a social service organization. Then when he told us and we were interested about it, there were three of us who got started going down to the Holly Cafe, which was right across from about where, or just east and on the other side of Douglas. And it was another place, another restaurant where both races could gather. The third person was a teacher, and he left at the end of the semester. Then Lillian Watson, who was Floyd's brother-in-law, Lillian Watson, who was Floyd's sister-in-law, joined us working on it. We had to get a sponsoring committee together before the National Urban League would even consider. I had just come back to Wichita after being gone for about 6 years and really didn't have much of a acquaintance base to utilize.
So it was Floyd and Lillian, and then as we gathered other people, I'll just do it this way, okay? And we started working at it, and that multiplied, and other people knew other people, and we did get the sponsoring committee together, and we went up to Kansas City, Floyd, Lillian and I, and we talked to Jim Pauley up there, and he helped us, and then we gathered many people, so many names that many of you would know, that I won't go into trying to say all those names, but it was many people making the effort, and it was a grassroots movement at that point. It then moved to needing a broader board, a broader base, financial support, and it was a great experience, but it was significant to me, not just because I think it was a significant thing to do, and it has proven to be a successful thing, and I've been involved in lots of organizations that have come and gone, but for me it was significant as well, because the Watson family then became a part of my personal life, and those girls I've known since their birth, and we have stayed associated and kept in touch all that time, and I thank them and their parents, but I just want you to realize too that both Floyd and Tarzona all their lives were underemployed for their capabilities, because they had the potential, but they didn't have the possibility. And we know that while that has improved, the skies aren't clear in that area either.
All right.
Yeah, there's still much to be done. Thank you.
Champions for the cause. For a few words about our next award recipient, please welcome TKAAM's Education Director,